Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that digs into fascinating sources to pull out, well, the really crucial insights. We want you to be not just informed, but really captivated. And today, wow, we're not just diving deep, we're kind of launching ourselves into something pretty extraordinary.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
It really does. Our source material for this deep dive, it's completely unique. We've got excerpts from this incredible conversation. Spans millennia. It's between a quantum physicist from right now, 2025, and another one from the year 4500.
Yeah, imagine getting access to that. It's almost unbelievable.
Right. So our mission here is to try and understand how our basic grasp of reality, technology, even consciousness, how it all transforms over thousands of years. We're talking huge revelations about space-time, these things called quantum engines, even what it means to be human. Okay, let's unpack this. Seriously, get ready to have your understanding of reality pretty thoroughly rewired.
It really is an amazing window we get to peek through. These sources, they give us this glimpse into a future that's built on a totally different, much deeper quantum understanding. And what's so fascinating, I think, is seeing how these foundational ideas we have now, the ones we take for granted, they just sort of crumble when faced with future knowledge. And it reveals these deeper truths that honestly resonate across time.
Yeah.
So this isn't just, future gadgets we're talking about. It's a whole reevaluation of existence itself. And that has really profound implications for how you, listening now, might understand your own place in the universe, even today.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's start where the source material does, with our two physicists. The challenges for quantum physics right now, in 2025, I mean, we're working flat out on refining quantum computing, right? Yeah. Wrestling with decoherence, pushing entanglement.
The big problems.
Exactly. And then there's the big one, that seemingly, locked door, unifying quantum mechanics and gravity.
Yeah.
It feels insurmountable. Yeah. But what if? Yeah. What if that door isn't really a door, like our future physicist suggests?
That's precisely the point Dr. Orion Veyra, the physicist from 4500, makes to Dr. Elaine Carter, our contemporary. He talks about something they call the Great Unveiling, which for Dr. Carter in 2025 would happen in the next century or so. And crucially, it's not just some theory. He says the unification actually emerges from experiments. Experiments with something called quantum causal structures.
Quantum causal structures. Okay.
Yeah. And these tests, they reveal something fundamental. Space-time itself isn't the bedrock. It's emergent. He says by 2400, humanity gets it. Space-time is woven from relational information and entanglement. What we grapple with now, Dr. Veyra says, that's basically the scaffolding of the universe, so that locked door we're staring at. He says it was never a door, but a mirror.
Never a door, but a mirror. That's, wow. It's poetic, but what does it mean? If space-time is emergent, woven from information, is it just an illusion, like some people argue now?
Right, that's the immediate question, isn't it? But Dr. Veyra clarifies, no, not an illusion. It's more like a language.
A language.
Yeah. He uses this analogy, like how ancient people thought the Earth was fixed, the center of everything. He implies that our mistake in 2025 is thinking space-time is this absolute unchanging foundation. Their framework is called relational quantum ontology. It's radical. It suggests the universe's basic building blocks aren't particles or waves or fields, but the relationships between things. Reality is an emergent grammar of interactions. He actually says, the atoms of existence are not particles, nor waves, nor fields. They are relations.
Relations.
Every interaction, every link, it generates the appearance of space, time, causality. You can imagine Dr. Carter's reaction. She apparently just whispered, our whole framework, even general relativity, is just a shadow on the wall.
Wow, just a shadow.
But Dr. Veyra reassures her, shadows can reveal the shapes that cast them, which is quite profound.
It is.
And he even gives a hint for physicists today. He says, seek correlations beyond locality, but not in particles alone. Look for causal entanglement.
Causal entanglement.
The events that are correlated without sequence, as though the universe whispers to itself outside of time. He calls that the first glimpse of the forest.
Okay, let me try and grasp that. So it's not stuff moving in space and time.
Right.
It's that space and time themselves come from how everything is connected. The universe isn't the stage, it's the performance, created by its own connections.
That's a great way to put it. It completely flips our perspective.
Yeah, it really does. Okay, but if reality is this relational web and space-time is just its language,
yeah.
What kind of tech do you build? What kind of machines?
Exactly. And this is where our current ideas about quantum computing start to look, well, a bit basic.
Right. Because we're still thinking about computing inside space-time, juggling qubits. But the sources mention these quantum engines from 4500. Dr. Veyra talks about them. And they're not just faster computers. They don't just compute. They actually shape the relational web itself. He says they operate atemporally, like outside our linear time. Instantaneous almost. He calls it causal weaving, like manipulating the very fabric of reality.
Precisely. And the impact of these quantum engines on society, it's just staggering to think about. Take energy. By the 27th century, they developed direct entanglement harvesting.
Direct entanglement. Harvesting. What does that even mean?
It means drawing usable energy straight from the relational fabric of the universe.
You're kidding?
Nope. No fuel, no solar, no fusion, just energy from the connections themselves. It completely changed their civilization, as you can imagine.
I can't even picture that. And medicine.
Also transformed. Disease isn't seen as just molecular anymore. It's about patterns. Health is about restoring relational coherence in the body's quantum web. Illness is basically a misalignment of patterns. And the cure, not drugs, but resonance.
Resonance, Dr. Carter said, was like
tuning the body like a symphony. Yeah.
tuning the body like a symphony. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But a power like that, shaping reality, pulling energy from nowhere, did it just lead to utopia? Or were there, massive dangers?
Oh, definitely both. The sources are clear on that. Those early centuries with quantum engines, huge chaos. Access to them created this entirely new power dynamic. He says entire nations collapsed or rose in moments.
Oh, boy.
And wars were fought using causal sabotage, basically rewriting probabilities to make things go your way.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. He says quite bluntly, humanity had to mature quickly or perish, which led Dr. Carter to ask the obvious question, so what saved us? And Dr. Veyra's answer was intriguing. He said, not what, who.
Not what, but who. Okay, that points somewhere else entirely. Not technology, but people. Consciousness, which might be the biggest surprise here, right? Consciousness moving from philosophy into, physics. Because in 2025, we see it as this huge mystery, maybe just a side effect of brains getting complicated. But what if the mind isn't just in reality? What if it's fundamental to reality, like a twin to that relational web you mentioned?
That is exactly Dr. Veyra's point. He states that mind is a fundamental mode of reality itself, inseparable from the relational fabric that generates space and time.
Whoa.
Now, he's careful. It's not like the whole universe is thinking, not like that. It's more the capacity of the universe to perceive its own relations.
Yeah.
And each conscious being, you, me, everyone, is like a fragment of the universe's mirror.
A fragment of the mirror.
So your thoughts, they aren't just brain chemistry. They're actual configurations of the relational web. Your neurons are, in his words, weaving microcosmic patterns that resonate with the universal loom. You're directly interacting with reality's fabric through thought.
Weaving patterns.
Yeah, and that's why healing consciousness can actually heal matter in their time. The connection is direct.
That sounds, it sounds like mysticism, doesn't it? Meditation, altered states, all that stuff we sort of file under weird.
And Dr. Veyra confirms that. He says those practices, mysticism, meditation, they were glimpses of physics, early intuitive understandings. Apparently, later science rigorously tested these things, found that intention, focus, resonance, they measurably change quantum causal patterns.
Seriously?
Seriously. What mystics called alignment or enlightenment turned out to be measurable coherence in the relational web. So the brain isn't just making mind, it's more like a lens for mind to interact with reality.
A lens.
And by 4500, they have instruments, neuroquantum resonators, that basically upgrade that lens. They let consciousness merge, expand, explore the fabric directly. He says two minds can literally overlap, sharing not just thoughts, but perceptions, even dreams.
Sharing dreams. That redefines everything about being an individual. But couldn't that be incredibly dangerous, merging minds like that?
Oh, absolutely. Huge risks initially. Power struggles took on a whole new dimension. Dr. Veyra mentions wars fought by collapsing the identity of an enemy into madness. Imagine that weapon.
Unthinkable.
But through that horror, they learned something profound. The self is never isolated. To harm another is to fracture the mirror we all share. Dr. Carter's reaction really says it all. Then perhaps the greatest map is not of the brain, but of being.
The map of being. Wow. Okay, so if minds can merge, if tech lets awareness expand beyond anything we know, what does humanity even mean then? Does it stay human? Which leads us to this idea from 3100 in the sources. Symphonies, what are they?
Right. Dr. Veyra says the word human still exists in his time, but it has this nostalgic feel. Because by 3100, individual boundaries got really blurry. Those neuroquantum resonators allowed minds to form vast networks overlapping like constellations. He suggests thinking of it like a choir, each voice distinct, yet able to harmonize into something greater. These were the symphonies. They could think, feel, create on a scale way beyond individuals, but crucially, not just hive minds. Individuality could still exist.
A choir. No, okay, I'm picture that. But what about the I? My sense of self, did it get lost in the harmony?
That was apparently the central struggle of what they called the Third Quantum Renaissance. Some people did choose to dissolve, merging completely, fear maybe, or desire, but others found a balance. They learned to move in and out of shared mind, like stepping between solitude and community. So the I was not erased, it was expanded. That's how he puts it.
Expanded, but still there.
But the risks never went away entirely. He talks about entire populations being collapsed by hostile symphonies, their minds just unraveled, stripped of coherence.
Good grief.
He calls it the most intimate form of warfare and the most devastating. Again, humanity had to learn.
Yeah.
To dominate the other is to fracture yourself.
It's a harsh lesson, repeated over and over, it seems. Did they still have bodies in this symphony era? Or was it all mental?
Both, interestingly. Bodies were still cherished anchors to the material song, keeping that physical connection. But yeah, people also spent time in purely mental realms, relational architectures, which he called living dreams.
Living dreams.
And paradoxically, understanding consciousness so deeply actually made them care more about the physical material universe. The big threshold, Dr. Veyra stresses, wasn't just the tech, it was maturity, choosing. Use this power to control or use it to harmonize.
Which brings us right to the end game, doesn't it? The ultimate question from these talks. What's humanity's destiny? What's beyond even these post-human symphonies?
Well, Dr. Veyra is careful with the word destiny, suggests it wasn't inevitable, more like a path we chose and the horizons we discovered. He says by the 40th century, the big question changed. It wasn't who are we anymore, it was what is the universe asking of us?
What is the universe asking of us?
They realized their role wasn't to conquer reality, it was to complete it. Which circles back to that relational idea. Every interaction, every consciousness is a thread in the cosmic loom, but the tapestry is not finished.
We're part of weaving it.
Exactly. He says, quite staggeringly, the cosmos itself is incomplete without us. We are not observers of the universe. We are participants in its birth.
The universe needs us to become complete. That's mind-blowing. So what was the final threshold they reached?
It was when they could use merged minds and quantum engines to weave not just probabilities, but the very grammar of being, the fundamental rules. And at that point, they faced what he calls the greatest choice. Impose their will on the cosmos, shape it how they wanted, or listen. Listen to what the universe itself was yearning to become.
Impose or listen.
And the outcome was stark. Those who tried to dominate, to force their pattern, they vanished.
Vanished.
How? Because, as he puts it, to fracture the loom is to unravel yourself. You can't break the whole without breaking the part. But those who chose to listen, they survived. And more than survived, they became more than civilizations, more than species. They became custodians of the horizon.
Custodians of the horizon. And beyond that, is there anything...
He speaks only of whispers, whispers of a presence that is not bound by relations, but is the source of relation itself.
The source.
Some call it the first silence, others the final listener. He even mentions the word God. And the ultimate insight he shares is this. When humanity learns to listen with its whole being, the silence begins to sing back.
Wow.
Dr. Carter's reaction sums it all up. Then maybe the greatest discovery isn't what we find, but who is listening when we do.
Okay. Wow. It's almost too much to take in, the scale of that journey. What an incredible deep dive this has been. We went from space-time, emerging like a language from relationships, to quantum engines, shaping reality, consciousness being fundamental, humanity evolving into these vast symphonies, and finally realizing our role isn't just to exist, but to help complete the cosmos.
It's an astonishing arc.
It really is. And the core message seems to be that the future isn't this set thing waiting for us. It's something we actively create, consciously. So, what does all this mean for you, listening right now? I keep thinking about Dr. Veyra's phrase. The future isn't waiting to be found, it's waiting to be sung into being. Sung into being by our choices. By choosing to listen, to connect, to harmonize, to participate in weaving that tapestry. So maybe the question for all of us is, what will you choose to listen to? And what song will you help bring into being? Thanks for joining us on this truly deep dive.